Hey guys, Gil here. Want to make a video. Today's the 4th of February, which means TBC releases tomorrow. Gates open, should be fun. Want to make a video though on managing large volume of investments. Kind of go over the investments that I have and my thought process on how people should uh, consider investments in the next basically couple weeks. So starting off with how to manage large volume of investments. So one of the benefits of TBC is you get the addition of a guild bank. This didn't normally come until later phases. I think in 2019 it was phase 2 that guild banks came out. But in anniversary, they gave them to us in pre-patch. So that's kind of cool. Well, one of the things about guild banks is each of these tabs is, I believe, 100 slots. I could count them real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14 times 3, 7. Is that right? What's 14 times 7? 98. Each one of these is 98 slots. And the first tab, I think, is 100 gold. So for the low cost of getting 10 signatures and 100 gold, you can get 100 bag slots. So just keeping in mind that a 14 slot bag times 4 is 56 slots. You're basically getting double for roughly 10 times the cost because these bags are really cheap. But what it allows you to do is have a lot of bag space that's accessible from different characters. So you can see in my guild right now, this guild on my, these are all my level 1 alts that I used in vanilla, and anniversary, fresh, whatever you want to call it, to store all my investments. So what a guild bank allows you to do, that's like I call it a personal guild bank, is it lets you kind of store all that stuff in one repository, if I'm going to use data terms, so that you can just log on to any of your characters in the guild, pull out your stuff, send it to your main or whatever. You could even have your main in your guild if you're not, playing that character with a raid team, if you're just solo doing investments. This is really useful in that regard. Again, the process is you sign up. If you've never made a guild before in org, well, I'll just run over there while I'm talking. You get a guild registered. You can choose a name then, or you can choose it after you get guild registered, and then you can change the name before you actually basically punch the name into the existence with this guy. But he'll give you a charter. You go around, you can offer people gold to sign it. You can get 10 of your favorite buddies to sign it, and then once you have it set up, so this guy used to how to form a guild, purchase a guild charter, and then once you get 10 signatures, then you come over here and register.
For the Horde.
And if you just normally spam in org, paying 5 gold for guild signatures, you'll get your 10 signatures in less than probably 20 minutes. So just something to consider there. But the reason that I made one, and I actually I spent I think like 750 gold on just getting the tabs, because I had so many investments that when you're doing massive volume like this, you can do it one of 3 ways, in my opinion. You can make a guild bank like this
For the Horde.
and have it all in one spot, which you're still limited to either the the 98 slots per tab. So I think it's like this one is 100 gold, this one's 250 gold, and then this one's 500 gold or something like that. You do it this way, you're still limited to, in this case, I have 300 slots. You can do it the way that I did it in Fresh, where you have a bunch of level 1s, you get them to Orgrimmar somehow, you give them bags, and then you buy some bank slots.
What are you looking for?
Which is fairly cheap now, 2.5 gold a piece. Or you you use your mailbox. So,
Strength.
oh, actually, I do. Or you can do all three, obviously, which is what I'm doing. So I think this character has some of my mail stuff. And what the mail does is it lets you basically use your mailbox as a void storage. So you send stuff around, and then it just sits here for 30 days, and then you come over here and you hit return, and it sits in that person's box for 30 days, and then gets deleted. And if you want to restore it after it gets deleted, that's an option too. Support, and then I normally just Google this, but you can get it through here as well. Film restoration, maybe. Mail recovery. Okay, so it'd be right here, and you just follow their little tooltip. Takes forever to load because it's like loading databases and whatnot. But yeah, so you can do it this way with a mailbox, and you're basically just bouncing stuff back and forth. Blizzard doesn't like this. You're not supposed to do this, but it's, you know, clever use of game mechanics. And a lot of people do this for storing large amounts of stuff, because this is all, you know, the cost of copper to send stuff. So one of those three options for managing large amounts, for my current investments going into TBC, you can kind of see I've got about 2,000 Savory Deviant Delight. I've been buying them. Send my guy one of these real quick. Gillidan. Slash Whisper Gillidan. So I paid 31 silver on average for buying all of these. Not bad. The reason I did this is no one was raiding when I bought these a couple days ago. Very few people, at least. And I think as TBC kind of goes along, there's a lot of people playing the game right now. But yeah, there's not a lot of people raiding. So, especially the first 2 weeks of pre-patch. So I kind of scooped some of these up. 2,000 isn't a ton, but it's enough to make some profit. I think these are the cheapest that they were in a year in pre-patch, so they should go up. There's lots of fish bots, and kind of the methodology here, and I'll get into this later in the video, but the methodology here is basically with gold valued losing buying power. So there's more gold, so you have to pay more gold for stuff, also known as inflation. And the resources for farming fish are pretty much infinite because it's just subscriptions, but they can make a lot more money fishing in Outland and selling those consumes. Like most of the edible, like the food consume that raiders use will be fished in Outland. So basically the cost of Savory Deviant Delights have to come up to make it worth the fishing bots to do Savory Deviant or whatever Deviant fish over the Outland fishing, because they only have so many bots. You know, like let's say it's 1 million. They're gonna have 1 million of their bots farming or fishing Outland fish until Savory Deviant Delight comes up, and then they'll send maybe 100,000 of their 1 million fishing bots to the Barrens to farm these. So right now it's just these, and no one's using them because no one's raiding. So that's kind of why I went into this. But the reason I bring up that whole methodology is because I think you got to find those examples if you're still looking for investments of things where, like, right now the economy, whether people like it or not, is totally dominated by what the bots are farming. If you, in Classic, if you make flasks, you notice this with stone scale eel. Like, they will be, if you buy them on the right day when the bots are selling all their stuff, you can buy stone scale eel for, let's say, 1 gold. But if you buy it on the wrong day, when the bots haven't unloaded their inventory in a while, it might be up to 2 gold, so you pay twice as much. Or if you find the guy that's unloading the fishing bots, so you just message him, be like, hey, can I buy 100 stacks from you and I'll pay you 1 gold or whatever. You can wheel and deal in good deals that way. So if you're still looking for an investment, I would think with that lens and basically say like, okay, what is either not used right now or that will be used in TBC a lot? What is farmed right now by bots, but might not be farmed in the future because the bots will be farming something else? An example of this might be Mage Weave Cloth. So right now there's a lot of bots in, let's just see actually. There's a lot of bots probably in Scarlet Monastery. Scarlet Monastery, Monastery? Jesus, why can't I spell monastery? Monastery, mage. 60. Okay, so there's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ungilded mages. These guys are probably fucking bots. Most of these guys are probably bots, honestly. That's 10 people farming that, and then if I do Zolfarak spell, okay, there's a bunch more. So all these guys are farming 50 gold an hour and a shitload of mage weave. Wait until these guys are in slave pens. Watch what happens with mage weave. It'll go up. So that's just kind of an example. Mage weave would be. Another one would maybe be silk cloth or wool cloth. You know, these guys are no longer farming or boosting in SFK because if I'm a booster, I can make more money boosting slave pens or Stratholme or something like that. So if you can find an item like that, if you can think of an item that you haven't seen a YouTuber that, like, I don't count because I don't have enough reach, but like people like Metagoblin or Guide MMO, as soon as they mention something, you're not going to make money on it basically because they are, for the most part, sensationalizing stuff that everyone knows. I've yet to see one of them talk about, you know, Savory Deviant Delight or I don't know, what's another, Dark Runes. Maybe some of them have talked about. I have a ton of Dark Runes somewhere. But this is why I talk about how to find a good deal, not like a good investment. And I show you guys the reason that I tell you explicitly why I'm investing in why, like, Thorium Ore is something that I invested in months ago. And I told you, I watched a video from Guide MMO 4 years ago. You can sell this trash loot and still make money at under 20 silver. Thorium Ore right now is at like 80 or 75 silver right now. So I 4x'd all of the stuff that I sold if I were to sell it now. These scrolls are another example. So I have 666 agility 4s, and I've talked about this in many of my videos. But the reason I'm investing in these is these are the budget version. Very few people are using them. I haven't seen people really talk about investing in these, which means as soon as people go to buy them and start like raiding, these will probably go up. Another one was these living rubies. I was not tracking that these were available. I actually watched a video of a guy explaining how you could get these, but I just wrote it off. Rogues can get these through chests right now. If they go and pickpocket, I think this is how they're getting them, I'm pretty sure. If they go pickpocket the mobs in Blasted Lands over here, they can, I think it's like down here, like the Kazakh mobs. They get the good chests from TBC. And then those chests can give you the jewel crafting gems, the good jewel crafting gems, not the shitty ones, not the green ones, but the blue ones. So one of the guys, Reigns, Sulia, whatever you want to call him, shout out, was asking if we had prices for these and to compare. And so let's see here. Because I watch a bunch of YouTube, I had trying shouted her out before. Diary of a Guild Leader, YouTube. She put together this spreadsheet. I think I talked about her alchemy one. Well, she had one for prospecting for jewel crafting as well. So I looked at this. This is from June of 2021. Well, that means I know the prices of gems in June of 2021. Granted, on her server, I have no idea what server she was on, but I at least have some bit of data on what the prices were. So you can see like a living ruby in June of 2021 was 138 gold. An adamantite ore was 216. So that's at least a starting place. Let's see, when did TBC classic May, I think? Okay, June 1st. So this is 3 weeks. Or no, this is the week of release. This is perfect data. So we would expect next week for prices to be somewhere around here. I'm expecting like a 10 to 20% increase. So I would say like 160, and that's because of mega servers. It might even be more depending on how they do layers and how many layers they have open. Just like Black Lotus or like Mongoose, everyone always complained, oh, the consumes are so expensive. The consumes are so expensive. It's because I'm on a rant here. Okay, so peak time, let's say like, we'll do like, this is 3, 6, 9, noon, 3, 6, 9. Okay, this is terrible, but whatever. This is what happens, right? So, and then this is our y-axis. So as time goes on, like you have hardly anyone on at 3. This is the number, let me see. Number of layers. If I make this go smaller. Okay. Let's go away. Okay. And this is... Okay, so as... in the middle of the night, there's no layers, right? Hardly any. Let's say this is 2 layers. And then 6 a.m. rolls around, which, and these are, I'm going to say these are all, for just simplicity, I'm going to say these are Eastern, because a lot of people play Eastern times. 6 a.m. rolls around. Okay, we're getting more. We might be at like 3 layers. And I'm going to say the max is, we'll say 12. 12 layers might be the max. Okay, 6 a.m. rolls around, 9 a.m. rolls around. We're at like 5 layers now. Noon rolls around. Okay, West Coast people are waking up now. All the people that don't fucking work and stuff. They're getting on at 9 a.m. Western. So this kind of comes up, and now we're at, let's say, like our base of 5 layers. Okay, so then it's 5 layers until 6 p.m. Eastern. And then it fucking skyrockets to 12. Okay, and then people raid, and people are online until midnight. And then it slowly tapers off until we get back down to 2 or 3 layers. Like in this case, if you have 12, you're probably never getting down to 2. You're probably getting down to like 4, but you understand the analogy. So the reason that this is important is because I'm going to choose green here. For farming, think of your farmers. I'm farming terracone. I'm farming adamantite. They can't do this in a dungeon. I mean, they can for, I think adamantite you can, but you can't for terracone, right? It's the only one that you can't. I don't remember if they changed that or not. Either way, I'm going to continue with the expression, with the explanation. So for 6 hours or less, you have 12 layers. Probably less. For 18 hours, you have a lot less. Like very, very few people are playing relative to the peak hours, right? So as more people get on, it skyrockets. They spin up more layers. They spin up more layers. Okay, great. Which means your consumption rate of consumes is at this rate, right? This is when people consume. Nobody's consuming down here, okay? But you can only farm at this rate, right? You can only farm at this rate. What happens is, and this is what happened in Anniversary, people were saying it's because of no gold buying or lots of gold buying. No, it's because of this. You have all of these people raiding, you have a mega server, but your base layer amount can't support your peak raider level. And what happens is its consumes skyrocket because the farmers literally have infinite demand relative to their supply on their layers. If they were always at 12 layers, this is why the layering system is fucking stupid for PvE consume prices. If you just ran your server at 12 layers, consumes would be cheap. They'd be super cheap. They would be normal prices. But because you have 12 layers worth of people raiding, but only 5 layers or less worth of nodes that the fucking bots can go farm, you're screwed. It screws prices of things you can't farm in instances. If something can be farmed in an instance, the price is fine. The price is stable. Think of things like Grom's Blood or Mountain Silver Sage. Those can be farmed in DME or later on in Zul'Gurub. Guess what you can't farm in an instance? Plague Bloom. Why do you think Plague Bloom was 12 gold apiece at peak phase 4? Because they couldn't farm it in an instance. And they only had 3 layers worth of, on Night Slayer, 3 layers worth of Plague Bloom in Eastern Plaguelands and Western Plaguelands and Felwood to meet 7 layers worth of people farming, or 5 layers of the farm, or whatever it was, of not farming raiding. Anyways, I digress. This point is what you want to look for in your investments and when you're price comparing predictions for TBC 4 years ago and TBC this time. So adamantite ore, let's just look up adamantite ore. TBC. Okay. Obtained in, oh I know, dropped, wait, mined from adamantite deposit. Okay, Blade's Edge, Nagrin. Okay, so it looks like Slave Pen, Shadow Lab, so they can farm it in an instance. So this should be relatively stable. I would expect for this price to be around what they were, maybe with like 10 or 15%. If it's Terracone, and I know they added the increased Terracone drop, you can't farm Terracone in an instance. At least you couldn't. So it should have the Plague Bloom effect. What I use this data for, though, to go back, is I use examples like this. Another one is, actually, let me finish my train of thought. So, another one would be, you know, like adamantite or fell iron ore, any of these. You can use these data sources to say, okay, this is what the price should be around. And then you come over here to your character and you say, okay, how does that compare when you go on the auction house? How does that compare to these prices? So you can see the market average was 138. 138, that's the price of 1 week into pre-patch. Okay, I would say that's a medium level of risk, you know? So I actually did this logic when I looked at these. And if I go to tool crafting, red, you can see I bought these at 132 on average. So I just cleared out the auction house of all of them. I kind of did that with all of these. So solid Star of Elune, it uses Star of Elune. These were 25 gold, even though there's only 4 of them. This thing said that the price was 41. So I'll probably make a good amount of gold on those, so on and so forth. What I was going to say though earlier, if you go to YouTube and you do like TBC 1 to 10K challenge or something like that, and then you go down to episode 10, this guy has a great video series. Highly recommend. What I use it for though is so he does a flipping challenge, right? This episode 10, yeah. So he starts out with 1 gold and he sells shit until he makes 10,000 gold. Um, and it takes him months to do. But at the end of it is a fucking gold mine of data. And there used to be sites like Nexus something, I want to say, or TSM, I think used to have it. There was some sites out there that used to track this stuff, but I don't think any of them have the data still there. So this is how I get it. So like, for example, Dark Runes. He flipped, he would buy them at 1384 and sell them at 1560. This is without the Paladin boosting nerf. What do you think it's going to do with the Paladin boosting nerf where it's harder for them to farm Skolo? They can still do it. It's fine. So this would be an example. Dark Runes on his server were 15 selling for 15 gold. What are they on our server? They're 6 gold right now. That's a lot of gold per Dark Rune. That's why I have 300 of them. Let's see another example. Copper ore. Here's one. So he buys it at 6 and sells it at 13. Let's see what copper ore is. Have a character over there? Nope. I'll just show you guys how I'm finding investments. Oh yeah, I accidentally put my fucking mount in the back. Chocobo. Okay. It's a great time to say subscribe if you haven't already. Sorry for the train of thought videos, but it's real. I don't do all these stupid top 10 things and just tell you shit you already know. Like, yeah, of course, I should pre-quest. Okay, so copper ore. What is copper ore on our server? It's 4 silver, 5 silver. I could get, let's see here. What do I do? I could get 20, I could get infinite amount for 6 silver. Well, on this guy's server, copper ore was 13. That's a double. That's not bad. Ore's kind of annoying to store, but like not a bad situation here going on. So you can find, this is a good video. He goes through here and his name is Nick B. And you can kind of see. So like one of the other things, he flipped a ton of the Coil Fang armaments and I don't remember the name, but the Aldor and the Scryer rep tokens. I think one of them, yeah, Arcane Tome, I think is one of them. So you can see he was buying them at 9, selling them at 10.5. Pretty good gold. Does that 234 times for a bunch of money. You can see on his server, and this is, wish I knew the exact date. But 3 years ago, so he's at least in 2020. Oh, right there, February of 2022. So he's in phase like 3 when he posts this. So there's some considerations there to be made as well. But like, for example, Arcane Dust is 1 gold. Like when Arcane Dust is out here in the next week and tomorrow, I'm going to be comparing that to this price, this 1 gold price. Adamantite ore, 1 gold 30. You know, I have data from Diary of a Guild Leader that a week into the server it was 2 gold 16, and 6 months it was 1 gold and 30. Granted, they're probably different servers, but that's kind of the mentality that I'm using to price things. Fell armaments, you know, if I see them around 9 gold, if they're 9 gold in phase 3 or whatever this was, phase 2, that means they should be like 20 gold or more in phase 1 when everyone needs the Aldor rep. So for those that don't know, if I go to fill armament, you can turn these in to the Aldor guys to get your max rep. This is actually a really good gold farm. You come and farm the mobs that drop these. And yeah, so this is how you get them. And you can make a bunch of money doing so. But people are going to want this to get their Aldor rep or Scryer's rep because they need to be exalted, which means that they can get their Bis shoulder enchants. The other thing you can do that's cool about a flipping challenge, when he shows his logs, like you can see he sold a ton of Arcane Dust. you know, 1947 times, or, you know, divided by 2, he basically made 900 gold flipping arcane dust, which is fucking easy as shit. So coarse stone, you know, he was selling for 11 silver. You can just look at these and be like, okay, where should the price go 5 months into a server? So here's one, Dreamfoil, 74 silver. Why is that so different than this? 24 silver, overpriced too. I think that there's some considerations to be made, like bots are probably more prevalent now, but I also think the general price trends will continue because it's a solved game for the most part. So I think you could go to this guy's video, you could go and compare some prices here to what they are now, and make some smart decisions about flips. Here's another one, large prismatic shard. He's selling them like hotcakes at 28 gold. That's what they are right now. Let's see. They are six gold a piece. So the way that these work, three prismatic shards, small prismatic shards, get turned into one large prismatic. So it's 3 to 1. You multiply the price of the small by 3, you get this price. So even right now with them overpriced, you can see I bought 224 on this account, and then let me see what my other account bought them for. It's about 5. I bought 730 of them for 5. So at 5 gold per, I'm getting them for 50. I'm getting a large prismatic for 15 gold. And you can see here, like, you know, he's selling them for 26 or for 28 gold. He's buying them at 26 and flipping them. And he did that 195 times. So this is the math that I'm doing. I'll go over quickly my investments because I always feel like I'm bragging, which I don't like. But yeah, right now I've got 971 small prismatic shards. I've got for an average of, I would say, around 475. And then I've got 666 scrolls of agility that I bought I bought a lot of these before, but I've bought 199 cents for, so basically two gold. I would buy them anything under 2. There's also some strength in here, I think, too, that I bought most of these under 1 gold like months ago. I have 422 of those. I have 274 dark runes. I think I have more on this account too. This account. 70. Dark rune, just 20. So basically I'm at 300 total. And I bought them at 7 gold average. So not great, but you know, I should still make gold. And then I still have aquamarines left. I have 345, it looks like, left. I bought these at 12 silver a year ago. I'm still holding on to, I think I had 1,000 of them. I still have a third of them. I have Nexus crystals. These can be turned into small prismatic shards. I've made a video about that. And then on my rogue, I have those 2100 savory deviant delights. And some rune cloth that I'll probably use on one of my alts.
Strength and honor. Dabu.
Let's see here.
What can I help you
Oh,
with?
it's in my
Be
mailbox.
safe.
I have another, I don't remember what. And I've got mage weave, got like 2,000 mage weave. Again, I think that I'm holding this. In fact, I wonder if he flipped any. I don't know for sure. Let's see if he has mage weave. See any there? Been loading. Do the old skipperoo. Age cloth. Okay, so like 20 silver he was selling it for. Again, this is what I'm saying. Mage weave cloth. Like you can, oh wow, it's really expensive right now, but you normally could get it for 7 silver, and a week ago you could get it for 3. So yeah, this is probably accurate, what I think the price will be. But anyways, I've got like 2,000 of that. We've got some rune cloth. I've got, well, not as much as I thought, like 600 rune cloth on this account, and this account. Oh, I guess I have another 1,500 here. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I have so much shit. Another 6. So I have about 1,000 rune cloth. Not as much as I would like, but really hard to store. But yeah, so basically my investments right now going into release are dark runes, small prismatic shards, scrolls of agility, and scrolls of strength 4. Again, I have 660 agility and about 450 strength. So 330 aquamarines, and then some random gems that I will probably cut myself. Overall, you know, if I were to do the pricing here, 1,000 prismatics at 5 gold, let's say, is 5,000 gold. Dark runes, I have 300 at 6 gold. That's 1,800. So what is that? 6,800. 60. We'll just call it. I'll call it 1,000 scrolls if I add the strength and the agility together. That's probably about 4,000 gold worth. If they sell for 4 gold a piece, that's doubling. I think there'll be more than that though. And then I have 11,000 gold here, like in the bank. And then on my Paladin, I have 2,000, so I'm at 13,000. I'd say my net worth is somewhere around 30K at the moment with current prices. That's not including like investments, or like not including the value of the investments, the future value. But yeah, what I would recommend, I'm going to end the video here. We're super late, super long as always. But I would just find an item that is still used a lot by raiders specifically, is always best. And compare the price of what it is now to one of these data sources, and just, you know, buy, I would say, a quarter of your net worth. Doesn't matter what your net worth is. And the idea is that if you put a quarter in right now, just like with investing in the stock market, shit is bound to go up if you just wait long enough, because as long as it's still used in some way, whether it's professions or rating, I would say those are the two easy buckets to buy. The inflation of the gold alone will cause a lot of your value increase, but that's compounded by the fact that not a lot of people are going to be farming this. So not only is there inflation, so you want to be in the items that are used that will immediately give you, well, not immediately, will eventually give you value, but there's also the relatively stable demand with these, which is less than it currently was, or what than it was for last year, but supply just gets cut off because all the bots are going to be farming outland stuff for the most part. Anyways, that's kind of the methodology that I have. My plan,
May your
I don't know if I've
blades
officially said
never
on this
dull.
channel, my plan is to get to 200K, and then I'm going to do a video where I give away 200,000 gold in the game. It'd be really funny if that person got banned. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm doing all this work. People say, like, you know, I put too much time, or what am I doing? I don't, like, gold is useless. But that's the goal. I'm gonna kind of do a Mr. Beast WoW version, and I'm gonna get all this gold, and then I'm gonna give it away to a random person. Yeah. So if you want to see that trip, I'll be posting these videos. Right now, I'd say I'm about 30K. give or take. And when I get to 200, I will liquefy everything and then give it away to one person. So that sounds fun. Like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, see you guys later.